the Gilboa M43. Let's check it out. Matching the ergonomics of the AR-15 with the caliber of the AK-47 in 7.62 by 3.9 is something that's been done for a number of years. And typically using the standard AR-15 platform and just kind of modifying it. Typically they don't work. There's a lot of issues, especially considering magazines have to be a little different, and there are just some other things about it. The force of the 7.62. But one of the things here lately is there's a number of companies that have kind of redesigned the AR around the 7.62 by 3.9 and utilizing AK-47 magazines. That's one of the things that the Gilboa company has done with this M43. It's a very AR-15 feel to it. I mean, it has even the weight. It's a fairly lightweight rifle, very thin handguards, but yet it handles the 7.62 by 3.9 very well. Guys, I'm telling you, I've been really excited about really doing this review. This rifle is one of the most ergonomic AR-15 AK platforms that I've seen. It's a really lightweight, handy rifle, and yet all the same features of the AR. It's just been a lot of fun. The Gilboa M43 is really designed in Israel, made in Israel originally, and still being made. It's made by Silver Shadow, which is an arms contractor there in Israel. They design a lot of weapons. Their background is IDF and police security forces and a lot of other government agencies. And they do a lot of training, but they use a lot of their expertise to make this rifle. One of the big drawbacks of the AK-47 has been to add accessories and optics, lasers, lights, things like that. And there are, of course, a lot of options now out on the market, which is great. I love the AK-47. I have a number of them. But that's really been one of the big drawbacks. Here we see that you've got your complete Picatinny rail. You have a key mod handguard that is super, super thin. In fact, it's amazing how thin this is. Then yet you have the ability to use the AK-47 magazine, which is huge. One of the things about this rifle, though, because it is 7.62 by 3.9, that can be very harsh on a direct impingement system. And this is a gas impingement system. We have our gas block here, we have our barrel, we have our gas tube running through, just like your standard AR-15. One of the things, though, that they've done is specifically timed the gas ports to accommodate the 7.62 by 3.9. I mean, they've done some really serious studies on it. And so, and I'll tell you guys, at the range, there was not a lot of harsh blowback. It just seemed to function very smooth and just right. And so it was really a lot of fun at the range, easy to handle. That's what I love about this rifle. Of course, first thing let's do is go ahead and check, make sure the gun is unloaded. We're going to remove the magazine, check the chamber, and it's empty. One of the things about this gun, the mag well is a huge plus. I mean, it just goes right in. The magazine release being right here, I can just push it with my trigger finger, or I can get it with my non-shooting hand, pull that right out. It doesn't drop free, but it does lock in. And with this magazine well, guys, I'm telling you, it is really amazing how much easier it is to put this in. Of course, here behind the camera, I'm a little bit clumsy just because of the way I'm having to hold it. But I'm telling you what, guys, this is really a big plus. I know that Krebs builds a little shield that guides the magazines in, and that in itself has been a big help. The mag well has been beveled, so this really allows for the magazines to seat. That's one of the reasons why it's so easy to get these mags in here. And again, it just guides the magazine right into place. The upper and lower are machined out of a solid block of 7075 T6 aluminum, which is mil spec for the U.S. military. But this really makes it very consistent, and it just locks in very well. Very tight tolerances, breaks down just like the AR-15, has your forward assist, has your shell deflector, and has your dust cover. You know, one of the big differences obviously is the mag release, but for the AK round, that really is a great way to go. Right here in front of the mag, the trigger guard, which has been extended somewhat. Here on the other side of the rifle, you know, your safety is in the exact same place. One of the things, of course, you will notice is there's no bolt release right here, and that's because with this gun and with the AK-47 magazines, it will not hold open on the last round. And you know, that's one of the little downsides of this rifle, but you know, if you're used to running AK-47s already, that's a no big deal. But it won't hold open on that last round. I mean, it's just not going to. There's nothing to stop it. Personally, I always replace my followers anyway, my AKs, with the Weapon Tech bolt hold open followers. These are great. I'll have a link down below. Here I've got the Weapon Tech follower in this Tapco mag. Bring it, lock it in, bring back my bolts, holds open. One of the things about it though, when you release your magazine, it pops closed. But that does give you somewhat of a better feature. At least you know when your magazine's empty. And then your standard regular military AK mags. And this has one of the followers in it. I believe it's one of the Yugoslavian mags. But any of your AK standard magazines will work in the M43. Now all the furniture that comes on the rifle is IMI Defense, which is Israeli Military Industries Defense. This pistol grip, excellent, with a small little place to put extras for storage. And then you have your regular stock. Definitely reminiscent of your Mo stock and holds up pretty well. Has, of course, footman's loops and everything, even a QD swivel outlet right here. So very high quality furniture on here, and the magazine is also IMI. Now the front rail has a nice Picatinny all across the top. One of the things that really is unique is that it actually matches and fits into the receiver here of the Picatinny. So this is going to give a really solid lockup. Of course, I've never seen that before because typically AR-15s are, you know, military spec and they've already got this cut across, but this is made to fit this rail. So this really allows you to get a good grip. I mean, my hands are about medium and I can almost wrap my whole hand around this forend. In fact, it's 1.5 inches. One of the things you will want to be careful of though is gas blocks get hot. And this is a fairly short rail. So if you like to ride out far, you know, you could get a little warm up here. If you like to do that, I would definitely recommend putting a little hand stop or something right here to be able to get that stopped. But this is really, I mean, I really love this rail system. I think it's one of the big things that appeals to me about this rifle. The barrel has an M4 profile style to it. It is for 7.62 by 3.9. It's stamped across here, and it's a 1 in 9.5 twist. It is a chrome lined barrel, so it's going to really extend the life. Compensator has holes drilled all the way around except at the bottom where it is flat, so it's not going to cut up, you know, put dust out. It does have a crown at the front here, and this is really aggressive. And then there are holes that are actually drilled here. And again, this rifle just seemed to shoot very flat for 7.62 by 3.9. It has your standard AR takedown pins. We can open it up. We're going to go ahead and pull the bolt out. Now the carrier, it has been beefed up to accommodate the 7.62 by 3.9. The gas key is properly staked with grade 8 fasteners. We have MPI right here, laser etched onto the bolt. So that means that there's a lot of testing that's been done. One of the things that Gilboa says is that these rifles are up to military standards and beyond. So whatever the trials are in Israel for a military firearm, the specs, this actually will either meet it or exceed it. Because there are a lot of different 7.62 by 3.9 cartridges out there, there's Boxer, there's Birdine primed, this bolt carrier and the firing pin is made to be able to ignite any of those primers because you never know what kind of ammunition you might pick up in the field. They do in Israel make fully auto versions of this rifle. So there's a lot of testing that's gone on and proven. And the fire control group is designed just like your standard AR-15 and M16. The length with the stock collapsed is 34 inches and it weighs 6 pounds 12 ounces. That is a really light AR-15 7.62 by 3.9 rifle. Match that to the CMMG Mutant, and this weighs 7 pounds 12 ounces. So you have about a pound difference between the two. You definitely have more of a longer handguard, and there's some other things, but definitely increases the weight. Now, one of the things about the CMMG, I'm going to tell you right now, I love this rifle. Period. One of the things I think that the Gilboa has over it, though, is the magazine well that it has. This does not have that. And but really the magazines are not too difficult, to me easier than an AK-47, but I think the advantage of having the mag well is apparent, and the lighter weight, definitely a big plus. But the CMMG Mutant, it's awesome. And also from what I've seen, the base model of the CMMG Mutant as far as retail runs about $14.99. The Gilboa is $15.99 retail price. Of course, you can get the Mutant for less, and once the distribution gets going, these will come down in price as well. Now at the range, we had no malfunctions whatsoever. I mean, this rifle just ran, and I think the compensator was a big hit. According to Gilboa, this will cut down about 30% of your recoil, and I really believe it did. It was very manageable, especially shooting the 7.62 by 3.9, which is not super violent or anything, and not a lot of recoil, but it definitely is much more than your standard 5.56. But the lightness of the rifle, the thin handguard. I mean, this handguard was really easy to grab, and you can really get a good grip on this, even for female shooters or people with smaller hands. I think this would be fine. The furniture here from IMI, Israeli Military Industries, just it feels just natural. Nothing big and bulky here. Very reminiscent of Magpul furniture. And I think the only thing I would actually change on this rifle is putting a BCM, one of the charging handles on here. And I have to see if that would even work, considering the gas key. Everything seemed to be functioning fine. The accuracy on here was really well done. I mean, the accuracy is fine, and I think it's just overall a really great rifle if you're really looking for something in 7.62 by 3.9. That's one of the things. Again, the ammo cost really makes it nice and attractive to use these kind of rifles, because of the steel-cased ammunition. I don't shoot a lot of steel-cased ammunition in my ARs, even though I know a lot of guys who do. That's just one of my deals. But I feel real comfortable shooting it in this rifle. The mag well, really easy to get to, and at the range we were able to switch out mags without any trouble. Sometimes with the AK, if you're not used to it, now definitely guys get very used to bringing it up like a beer can, getting it against the handguard, and then just bringing it in. But with this, very easy. Another thing that I really like about it is I'm not reaching over the rifle to pull the charging handle back or pull the bolt back. I've got it right here where my AR is. So a lot of really cool features, and really at the range we just had a great time with it. Now when it comes to accuracy, I decided just to go 50 yards, which would really tell us about accuracy. Really shooting good groups. This first group obviously was kind of low, and I jumped my sights up, got a little bit closer, but still a good little tight group. Then I came down here and of course brought it up a little bit more, and then the fourth and final group right here under the bullseye. But a nice, very acceptable group, even at just 50 yards. I was shooting Federal Fusion 7.62 by 3.9, and these are soft points, and they're 123 grain. Also, one of the things that was on the rifle when I got it was one of the AIM Sports 4X scopes. Actually a pretty decent little scope, and I was really pleased though with the accuracy. And of course, easy to see targets from easytoseetargets.com. We've been at the range today shooting the Gilboa M43, and just a really slim, beautiful rifle. Robbie Wheaton from Wheaton Arms, which joins me a lot out here at the range, and I just wanted to really get some thoughts. Robbie being a gunsmith and doing a lot of competitive shooting, just some thoughts about what he thinks about the rifle.
think overall it's a very well thought out rifle. It's real well designed. It's small, it's slim, it's streamlined, it's not overly heavy. Weight wise, it's probably a half a pound to a pound less than an AK. Just a really smooth, slim, streamlined rifle.
You know, really up next to the AR, it's really almost difficult to tell.
It is.
Because it's based on that.
So a few little differences versus a standard AR-15. You've got the angle cut magwell here, where it accepts standard AK magazines, be it the factory steel ones or Magpuls or the ones that come with the rifle. The magazine release has been moved into the trigger guard here instead of being on the side of the rifle. One thing to note with it, the rifle does not have a bolt hold open. So if you look over here on the other side, it's slick on this side, so there's no bolt hold open feature for the last round. So when you rack the bolt to the rear, even with an empty mag inserted, there's nothing to hold the bolt to the rear.
Now, as far as shooting the rifle, we had no malfunctions. You know, it just fed. Very smooth action.
Yeah, the rifle shoots really well. It reminds me of a 300 Blackout as far as the recoil impulse with the rifle.
Yeah,
it's very similar to shooting a Blackout with supersonics in it. The factory muzzle brake does a good job of helping to mitigate muzzle climb and recoil, so you can stay on target and shoot it faster. It does come with a mil-spec trigger, which is probably around 5.5 or 6 pounds. It's easy to shoot it really fast and accurately. A nice slim handguard, so you can get a good grip on it. One thing, being a tall guy like I am, I would like to see a longer handguard on it. But
yeah, you did grab that gas block a couple of times.
I have grabbed the gas block a couple of times, and I tell you, it does get warm. But that's just something little and minor that would be, that would fit me better personally.
Now, and you could definitely tell the difference between the 5.56 and the 7.62 by 3.9, because we were shooting some regular ARs as well, and it's definitely got the AK a little bit more power coming out.
A lot more power. Yeah, it really hit the steel hard. We shot it out at 100 yards some, and the rifle was really accurate at 100 yards. And then the closer range stuff here, you could really blaze with it.
Yeah.
So overall impressions, it's a really well thought out, really nice rifle. This is one that I'll have to add in the stable with the rest of my AR-15s.
Most definitely. Now, unfortunately, because of import laws, these guns were not allowed to be imported into the United States from Israel. So they worked with McKay Enterprises to be able to make these here under strict tolerances. And that's one of the reasons why we can get these today, which makes it really great that they would invest the time and the money into the U.S. market to be able to bring these rifles to us. And LDB Supply is the distributor for these rifles. One of the reasons why I got a hold of this rifle was I met the guys when I was at NRA this past year and was really impressed with the rifle. And I was actually stopping by to check out with the guys from the JR Carbine. They're the ones who are with LDB Supply. Here on the receiver, we have a Cactus 4 Gilboa and caliber 7.62 by 3.9 model M43. What's really cool is the serial number is 71. These have just started coming into the country, so I was really excited about getting a hold of one of these. Unfortunately, it's got to go back. I can't buy them all. Now, as far as pros and cons of the rifle, there's a lot of great features. One of the big things for me is the weight. You're getting it down to about 6 3/4 pounds, and that really makes it feel like the AR. Some of the other offerings have been larger and bigger. The other thing is the magazine well has been opened, and this really allows for that magazine to go naturally into the rifle. Of course, utilizing the AK-47 magazines, and two, just the availability of ammunition, especially some of the steel cased. I mean, this is fine to use the regular steel cased ammunition, which is really inexpensive. Now, one of the downsides, of course, is that the price. I mean, you're talking about, $1,500 retail, but yet, street price will dictate probably less than that. But for this kind of round, you'll be able to make up for that pretty quickly with ammo cost. As far as no bolt hold open, that's something that's inherent with the AK-47, but with the followers that do hold the bolt open, I think that really is a big plus. But still, once you remove the magazine, the bolt's going to go forward. Having the Picatinny rail all along the top really advances itself above an AK-47, and again, all the ergonomics are the same. So really, overall, I think that there's a lot of good points with the Gilboa tried and tested in Israel and has really proven itself, and yet to be seen here in America, but I think we're on to something really good here with this rifle. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic. I don't even have to think about it. I don't have to time it. Of course, I'm behind this camera, so okay. I know the CMMG Mutant. Yeah, I'll say that right now. Taking the ergonomics. Now, taking the typically with the actually feeds very. I mean, holds up. Okay, it is a chrome. Now, right here at the top of the barrel, we have it. Okay, now the top of the barrel is okay. Now the barrel, it has kind of a, man, after shooting this rifle, I need a smoke. Sweat. It's one thing I've had to watch, because sometimes I'm just like dripping sweat and looking on the camera going, good grief, dude, why don't you just wipe your face off?
Look like you're dying sitting over there.